Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Wrestling Chat. It is June 16th, 2016. This is episode number 13. We did an episode yesterday. Doing an episode today to make up for not being on. Oh, sorry, guys. I dropped that. So for not being on for about a month, kind of making up for it, more or less. So, yesterday we discussed brand split and all the charades behind it of how it's gonna work itself out. Like I said, Shane's gonna do one show, Stephanie's gonna do one show, NXT is gonna mold into their own little thing. So like the talent from NXT is gonna be collaborated between the two brands. So that's why like you see stars like Enzo and Cass and like stars like that are gonna be making an appearance. Saramin Makamari, he's gonna be so yeah. So basically, sorry, I got distracted. It's Facebook drama. Or people just being weird. So, basically, Makamari. So, this dude's pretty talented. And he is going to definitely be making... Either he's going to be on Raw or he's going to be on SmackDown. Because he's too talented and I can't see him not going to either one of the shows. So, when the brand split happens, and it's happening soon. I haven't fully watched Raw in a while. I'm actually trying to get back to that. Get used to watching it again. Since I'm not working overnights right now, I can actually watch the show. So when the brand split happens, those stars are gonna go to Raw and SmackDown. So like guys like Enzo and Cass and him too, they will be split up between the two shows. And NXT is going to kind of be like, from what I heard, NXT is going to kind of be like, well, with what TNA is right now, how TNA is kind of fallen under. And I'm not saying that NXT is bad to the point where they're going to be on a pop channel. That's kind of sad. Like, literally, TNA is on a pop channel. They are not even on a televised channel. It's the guide channel where you just see all the listings of the shows that are going on, and because it's gotten so bad to the point where the shows aren't doing good. People aren't even going to the pay-per-views anymore. I doubt it. I heard from somebody that they're running it out of a warehouse, like of how broke they are. So that's kind of sad when you gotta run your show out of a freaking warehouse because due to money issues and whatnot. And TNA was a thing that I liked because it was cool. You had former stars from each show go there, and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, which I can guarantee this right now that they're probably going to be bouncing back to WWE if Vince lets Jeff Hardy even join again, because of Jeff doing what he did with the drugs and whatever. And that's why Jeff Hardy left in the first place, that he had a lot of drug abuse, and that's like a low tolerance with Vince McMahon. Vince doesn't like it. He doesn't like you doing drugs and steroids and whatnot, and which I can't blame him. I mean, I see Vince's point of view and where he's coming from. So I get that, and I also understand it, more or less. So Julian Provost, you asked me yesterday, about the championships and how they're gonna. So, to answer your question, to the best of my knowledge, is I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna split the two brands up, like they already plan to. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna have one champion for each show, which is kind of what you asked me, anyways. And I think that's the whole point of. I think it's the whole point of Money in the Bank, and that they're gonna probably amp up Dean Ambrose to take on one of the two. So, what I think's gonna happen is John Cena's probably gonna win the title and go to one of the shows and represent the title for that show. So, if it answers your question in any means, that's what I think is going to happen. I think John Cena is going to be on SmackDown and feud with AJ. And I think Reigns is going to stay on Raw and feud with Rollins for a little bit. I don't think Rollins is going to win the title this Sunday. I do think Roman Reigns is going to keep the title. I do see Rollins giving him a hell of a fight because he is a fighter. My friend Nick Brissett, he is a big Rollins fan. I don't have anything against Rollins. Like I've said many times, I liked everybody that was in the Shield. I had nothing against either one of them. They were all good in their own. They're all unique in their own way. The only problem with Reigns is I don't ever think he's going to get it. I don't ever think he's going to ever figure it out. But then again, you have to be fair with this, and you have to look at this side of view of things, that it's not that Reigns isn't saying what he wants to say on the microphone, is that I think WWE is writing this stuff for him to say. It's like every superstar has their thing. Like, Undertaker would beat you in the ring. He was good in the ring. He knew how to fight. He also was kind of creepy on the microphone. And what was cool about the image that he had was he had the whole Paul Bearer image with him, and he had the whole Dead Man image. Roman Reigns' problem is that he's this big, muscular dude that you expect him to beat, just to beat you up in the ring. You expect him to fight. I, however, like Reigns. I don't have anything against him. I do, on the other hand, like I said, I think he could be better on the microphone, but then again, I don't entirely think that all of that is his fault. I don't think that's all of his fault. Because, like I said, WWE writes what they write. And the storyline they even wrote a while ago was they have Charlotte not wanting her dad in the ring with her anymore. Because she feels like he's kind of helped her throughout this title run. And she feels like she's better on her own than that. Like I said, I get it, and I see why Vince writes what he writes, and I have nothing against it. It's about the business and how you're gonna write, what you think's gonna sell. It's like Cody Rhodes. He didn't want to do Stardust anymore, and what happened was WWE kept pushing him to do Stardust. And he was like, nope, not doing Stardust anymore. I don't want to. I want to opt out of my own contract. I don't want to do this. I want to be Cody Rhodes. I don't want to be Stardust anymore. I've been doing it for a month. It's getting old. Let's stop it. I don't want to do the character anymore. Vince was all like, well, we'd like you to do it a little more. Cody Rhodes eventually was like, nope, I'm opting out of my contract. I'm done. If I can't be Cody Rhodes, and I have to be Stardust, this character that I've been not wanting to do, then I'm not gonna, be with the company anymore. So, I guess where I'm coming from, and where I'm trying to say is that, like, I get his point and I understand where he's coming from. That if you're doing the character for that long amount of time, and it's obviously not selling, people aren't liking it. I personally did not like Stardust because I felt like it was too much like Goldust. And anybody who's a wrestling fan knows that Goldust, aka Dustin Rhodes, is related to Dusty Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes. They're all brothers. They're both brothers. The late great Dusty Rhodes. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, Julian, but how, like, where I just basically what I just said. And you can comment on the video later because I'm not live, but how do you feel? Like, if somebody was to be like, okay, well, this is the character you're gonna do, okay, and it's not selling any, which means, but this is what we want you to do. You would eventually get frustrated and you'd want to, opt out, right? I mean, I would. And that's where he was at. He got sick of it. And speaking of that, like, okay, the thing with the whole Goldust, like, Goldust had the same thing going. Where he did this stuttering thing for a while for the show. It was for the show. And he stuttered. And it was funny for a while. But then it got to a point where WWE was like, alright, we're not going to do this anymore. It's not, it's not funny. It's not funny anymore. It was funny at first, but it's kind of stale. It's done. We're not doing it anymore. So what I didn't understand is that we're not doing it for Goldust, and we're going to make Goldust not have to do it anymore. But then when Cody Rhodes was all like, well, I don't want to do this anymore, they were all like, well, we want you to do it. And he was all like, well, maybe I don't want to do it anymore. So that I couldn't understand. They kind of basically helped Goldust not have to do this anymore, but then they kept pressuring Cody for this and that, and like I said, that's why I was saying before, like, WWE has done stuff that does not make any kind of sense. I do believe there are guys that need to be having title pushes, and I've been saying this for a while. Kevin Owens needs to get a title push, and obviously I think Dean Ambrose needs to at one point. And there's just stars that need to be pushed as champs that haven't fully gotten a chance at it. The New Day, I think, eventually is going to lose those titles. Their days are coming to a close for the title reign. I don't mind them. I mean, I'm not really a New Day fan. I mean, they are entertaining, but they're also kind of... Langston is big and built, and the way they're using him and pushing him to be this mouthpiece, I don't know. I don't like the way they're using it. I don't like the way they're pushing that group, honestly. I don't. I really don't. But then again, I could really never understand a lot of this stuff that WWE does anyways. So, and then we talk about stars, we talk about wrestlers who their careers were ended very short, like this guy right here. Stone Cold Steve Austin. This movie's badass. I definitely recommend you guys to check this out. Really good movie. Julian Provost, man, if you have not checked this movie out, dude, you have to. It's badass. So Stone Cold was another unique wrestler. I'm gonna get talking about him for a minute. He was a dude that, like, he'd come in the ring, he beats your ass 24/7, and then he'd want more action. He'd want more wrestling action after. because when Owen Hart, and I had the DVD on it too, when Owen Hart snapped his neck in a match, Austin thought he was done. Went to the doctors, went all over a few meetings, doctor appointments. Vince was like, you can't go again. We can't have you wrestle. Stone Cold literally said to him, he's going to do it regardless. He's like, I'm goddamn Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm going to do it if I want. And he went out and he performed 24/7 after that. And that was, a lot of people were surprised. And I think to this day, I think he could go again. But I also, at the same time, I don't know. I think his career is done because of his neck injury thing or problem or whatever you want to call it. I don't think he's healthy enough to do it. But then again, I don't know. Because in the world of wrestling, you never know. That's the thing with that. You never know with wrestling because stars can come back when you least expect it. I had no clue about Shane McMahon popping right back on TV when he did. I was like, whoa. What happened? I thought this guy was, done with the business. And sure enough, no. So that, like I said, you never know. You never know with stars. They come back when you least expect it. Just charging my phone. Sorry about that, guys. Putting the phone on charger. So, yeah, no, these stars come back when you least expect it. And when he fought The Undertaker, I at least expected it. But WWE did not have a backup plan for that. So then what they did was they threw Shane McMahon in as the backup. He was going to be the backup. Because originally it was going to be John Cena, Undertaker, WrestleMania 32. And I would have loved to seen that match. And I honestly still think that we're going to see that match. We're going to see that match next year. Vince McMahon is not, or Undertaker is not returning Vince McMahon's phone calls. So see, what happened was Vince McMahon wants him to do SummerSlam. And as an Undertaker fan, and I'm going to say this right now, Undertaker doesn't want to keep doing shows here and there and all this and that and whatever. What's going to happen is Vince McMahon's going to have him do SummerSlam and then Survivor Series and then so on and so on and so on. And it's not going to end because he's going to keep having him do all these shows because he's popular and he's a fan base favorite and people love him. To this day, Undertaker is my favorite wrestler. He always will be. Always will be. My favorite new era wrestler is Kevin Owens. It's not going to change the fact that Undertaker is my number one favorite. Always will be. Not going to change that. Not going to happen. Adam Martin recently did an episode on Undertaker. That was cool. Because I think me and him were talking. We're going to hook up at some point. Do a show together. And do co-host sort of thing. So, yeah, that's where that's at. So I honestly don't know. I don't know if you're going to see Undertaker even show up at SummerSlam. It'd be cool, but I know that it's not going to stop at that because Vince is going to want him to do this show and that show and then so on and so on and so on, and then it's going to burn Undertaker out. And there's this guy recently who was saying that he's going to go under a Legends contract and this and that. And no. Me and my friend Adam agreed. It's not going to happen. I love Taker. He's my favorite. But at this point in time, it's probably time to retire. I'm sorry, Adam Martin, but I honestly think, dude, I think at this point in time, dude, it's probably good. Probably best for the business. I want to see our guy make the Hall of Fame while he's still going. Um, I'm not necessarily saying that he's going to retire. I don't think he's done this year, but I think that after this next WrestleMania, I think he calls it quits. I think he says he's done. Boom. Put the belt, put the boots up, pretty much, and say, I'm done with the business. That's what I think, and that's my own personal opinion. You can agree to disagree, but that's my own personal opinion. And I'm a diehard Taker fan, just like you, Adam. Don't get me wrong. I mean, hello, He's my freaking pillowcase, for Christ's sake, right? So, Taker's my boy, but I don't want to see him go out and something happen to him. Now, regardless, Ultimate Warrior made the Hall of Fame, but I don't want it to be that point where Taker makes the Hall of Fame and the next day I hear him go because of too much aggression, fighting for too long, and so I don't know. Like I said, he's definitely got at least 1 or 2 more years in him, but I don't know. I mean, it's all about what he wants to do. I'm gonna throw a couple of people into this video, and I want their opinions. Julian Provost, do you or do you not, as a wrestling fan, and no, I'm not asking you as, I don't know if you're an Undertaker fan or whatever, but as a wrestling fan, dude, your opinion, your personal opinion, do you or do you not think Undertaker should retire anytime soon? He is 50 years old. Do you think he needs to retire? Yes or no? 51? Yeah, 51. 51 years of age. Do you think he needs to retire? I don't want to say it. I think he needs to retire, but not anytime soon. So not this year, but I think the next year, after this last WrestleMania, I think he should retire. We have discussed it a lot on this episode compared to yesterday's, and I think it's more or less that we have a lot to, well, for Christ's sake, I was out a month without the show, so I would imagine I have a lot to kind of fulfill and talk about, and so that's kind of cool. But you guys get to get 2 episodes out of me this week, so which means I'm not going to do another one until next week probably. And I'm gonna do my damnedest, guys, not to go down a month again without doing a show. I do apologize. I've been trying to occupy my mind. I've had my mind on a lot of stuff as of recent, so that's kind of where my mind's been at, and I'm trying to be happy-go-lucky with things. So that's kind of, where that's been at. Busy looking for work and whatnot, and so. So yeah, WWE Money in the Bank is this Sunday, exclusively only on the WWE Network. If you have the money, go and get it, guys. If you don't, well, I don't know. Sucks to be you, I guess. I'm luckily good until August, because I bought 3 gift cards prior to when I was still working, so I kind of ended up paying off mine for a little while there, so I'm all set for a little bit. So, yeah. Yep. So, there really isn't too much more to talk about on the show, but except for that, like I said, be prepared, look at the brand split happening here in the next, week or so, or whenever it's gonna pop up and happen. Expect that's gonna be happening fairly soon. So we are coming to a close. a very special shout out to all my friends. Adam Demingware. I'm sorry, bro, but I cannot pronounce your last name. I don't know what it is. Anyways, yeah, Adam, Adam Ling, Tatiana, Chris Bayless. Sometimes he watches my show, you little freaking butt nugget. No, he's a good kid. He's a good guy. He just doesn't really watch my episodes. A lot of people that have supported the show. I'm sorry, but I don't do VCam. I like it. It's cool. It's cool to actually have someone doing it for you, instead of being the producer and everything of your own show. It's kind of crazy. Like, I run my show off a tablet. I don't go live, but then again, Nick doesn't go live either, and I agree with him on that. Going live is the worst thing because you have people that are so negative. Like, people were negative to him on the Paul Bearer special tribute. And that's not cool because Paul Bearer was one of the best. So, if you're not, like I always said, like I even said this on Nick's show, if you don't like wrestling, that's your right, but you don't need to judge people for people who do like it. And you don't need to be rude and call in and say some pretty nasty stuff because you're not a fan of it. If you're not a fan of it, don't watch, walk away, just ignore it. Don't go and say stuff like that are gonna offend people, especially people who like it. I've been picked on for liking wrestling, like, oh, you look guys in tights, or it's my right, it's what I like. I grew up liking wrestling through my father, through my brother. When I was younger, my parents, they freaking ordered every single WrestleMania. I mean, from the time that my brother was born until the time I was born, like, my parents ordered every single WrestleMania. So wrestling was always in my house, and it was something I was always around. So, like I said, if you're gonna judge people for liking it, that's your right. You don't have to like it, but don't run people down for liking it, because that's not fair to anybody who's a fan. Like, I've had people say, oh, it's fake. Why do you watch it? Why do you spend money on it? It's fake. It's not real. Oh, UFC's more real. Well, yeah, UFC is more real because UFC is a real sport. WWE, these guys go through pain. These guys go through injuries. People day in and day out go through injuries. These guys are human beings just like us. The only difference between them is they're not working a 9 to 5 McDonald's job, or trying to scrape up money for iced coffee, or scrape up money for a kid's meal for the kid or whatever. They make good money, but they're regular people just like you and I. They go through pain. They've gone through injuries. Triple H went through a real life injury. His knee, tweaked his knee. Real life injury. Eddie Guerrero back in the day, he went through an injury. Undertaker, he's gone through many injuries. Stone Cold, like I mentioned earlier, went through a neck injury. Ultimate Warrior, he went through a lot of stuff. Like I said, towards the end of his career, before he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, everybody sucked up to him. Man, there was a video 5-6 years ago, prior to it, bashing him about all of his drug use prior to going in the ring. He got bashed for that. That wasn't fair to him. He's, like I said on yesterday's episode, it wasn't fair to him to be bashed the way he was. He was mad. He was pissed. And I don't blame him. He was pissed off because people ran him down. It wasn't fair to him. He was supporting his wife and kids. He had wife and kids he was supporting for this, throughout being with WWE. So he's pissed off, and he had every right to be pissed off at the time because he was bashed in a video. was a whole long DVD. It was called The Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. And they ran him down to the ground. He was mad. I don't blame him. Stars like that, Ultimate Warrior, dude. Ultimate Warrior, God. If you don't know Ultimate Warrior, why are you a wrestling fan? You know, why do you even watch it? Well, people watch it, but what I'm saying is, if you don't know Ultimate Warrior and then you claim, well, I'm a big, huge red wrestling fan, and so that's kind of where that's at, where, you know. But yeah, Destruction of Ultimate Warrior. I couldn't believe it when I saw the video. I was disgusted because as a fan of Ultimate Warrior, he wasn't my favorite, but I felt bad for the guy because they publicly bashed him, ran him down to the ground. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. And then prior to the Hall of Fame, Ultimate Warrior almost didn't talk to Triple H because of that reason. For that reason. So that says a lot when you're pretty upset because of that. And like I said, this was a subject on yesterday's episode, you know. So, Ultimate Warrior is going to go down in history as one of the best. It's unfortunate that he passed, but his legacy's still there. So, but anyways, guys, this has been episode Wrestling Chat. Episode number 13. Yeah, number 13. So, we are plugging along. I want to get to 100. That'd be cool. So they branched it out. If I do an episode each week, it gets 100 by the end of the year, guys. Anyways, again, thanks for watching, guys. Well, you guys will be watching later because this will be uploaded in, a little bit. So, oh god. So let's see. Let's round it off. Oh god, a whole list of people. RJ Karamara, Chris Bayless, George Real, Adam Wing, Adam Demonware. I think I pronounced your name right. Julian Provost, Nikki Provost, a whole bunch of friends that I know that have watched the show. Tatiana, again, I hope your kid loves the show because I know he likes wrestling. Everybody who is supporting me, when we hit 100, I'm gonna get WWE balloons and cake. And we're going to do a special episode. We'll do that episode somewhere special. I'm not going to do it here. But we're going to do a special episode. When we hit 100, we're going to hit 100. I know we're going to hit 100 episodes. It's going to happen. Even though it's not happening tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Episode number 100, it's going to come sooner or later. Hey, we're already at episode 13. You know, we got to keep plugging away at it. Once we hit 20, then we're kind of smooth sailing. So, thanks again for watching, guys. This has been Wrestling Chat with me, Tyler Weston, and we are trying to get YouTube to work for the 100th time. So, trying to get the YouTube to work. I don't know what's going on with it as of late, to be honest with you guys. This thing has been bugging me to no end. And I don't know why it's bugging me. I don't know why it's choosing to do this, but it is. And I don't know, it just is. And as we load. And as we're uploading, yeah, phones really suck when you have no data and you're running off Wi-Fi. Just FYI, guys. Oh man, I hate devices that do this. 24/7, it likes to do this. It always gives me problems. Phone. Anyways, yep, still trying here. Still trying to get Wi-Fi. Still trying to connect. This thing's really annoying. Gotta like kind of hold the phones up to get Wi-Fi. It's crazy. I don't know what it is. So, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. We are another episode in. Mike Sweet, Tatiwana, RJ Caramara, Julian Provost, Nikki Provost, all you guys, I love you dudes. Until next week, this has been another episode of Wrestling Chat with Tyler Weston. And we're going to end it with the DX theme song. Rest in peace to the singer, Chad. Thanks again, guys. This has been Wrestling Chat. Stay good. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it!